And what a crime story this one is. The Adelson family hit job in Florida. Late yesterday, a jury spent like 3 hours, that was it, before delivering their verdict, and they convicted the family matriarch, Donna Adelson. They found her guilty of masterminding the murder for hire of her daughter's ex-husband back in 2014. The verdict was not a shock to a lot of people who have followed this twisted case, but Grandma Gotti, as the internet calls her, isn't most people. Case in point, I want you to take a look at how she took the news when she heard guilty.
We, the jury, find as follows as the count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder. Mrs. Adelson, control yourself. Count 2. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 2 of the indictment, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Count 3. We, the jury, find as follows as the count 3 of the indictment, solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. And it is signed and dated by the foreperson. One moment. Members of the jury, the bailiff will escort you to the jury room. Mrs. Adelson, while this was not the outcome I'm sure that you desired, there will not be any further outbursts in front of the jury. If you cannot control yourself, I am going to have to determine if you'll be removed from the remainder of this process.
The judge gave Donna Adelson exactly 2 minutes to collect herself before bringing the jury back into the room. And after the verdict, the parents of Dan Markel, the victim that she murdered, spoke ahead of the sentencing. They talked about their late son, who was a law professor at Florida State University. Here's Dan Markel's father, Phil Markel.
She has harmed forever the people she claims to have loved. In the Jewish custom, we have an expression to always wish others to live to 120 years of age. For Donna, I wish her to live to 120, alone in her jail cell. I wish that every day of her remaining days, she thinks about the harm she has caused to so many, especially those 2 boys she claims to have loved so much. For these reasons, Your Honor, I ask the court sentence Donna Adelson to the maximum possible sentence. And my only short question to Donna, was it worth it?
Holy cow, that's powerful. If you're counting, by the way, Donna is the 5th person to go down for Dan Markel's murder and the 2nd member of the Adelson family. Her son, Charlie, as well as Charlie's ex-girlfriend, and 2 hired hitmen are already doing hard time for the murder of Dan. And Donna faces a mandatory life sentence for murder 1 and conspiracy and solicitation. But she may not be the last Adelson to face a Tallahassee jury for Dan Markel's death. With Donna's case all but closed and prosecutors certainly on a roll, there are still 2, count them, 2 Adelson family members who, it's fair to say, are not yet in the clear. They've never been charged with anything, but there is no question their fortunes may still be reversed. I'll tell you who they are and why they ought to be pretty darn nervous right about now.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.